Welcome to summer in Dubai. It's currently the middle of the morning, but feels like the middle of the afternoon with the intensity of the sun just glaring at this city in the desert. It is the middle of summer, July 11th, which is a date that will forever be etched into my mind as it is 7/11 or my second ex's birthday. Easy way to not only remember but be scarred by it. Um, I'm here in Dubai, uh, both broke and broken, going through a lot that I wanted to from this cold to financial collapse to emotional collapse to mental lethargy to an apathy of life. Um, and I wanted to reflect on this and try to pick myself up from this condition where I need to be my own hero. Not just for my sake, but for the countless people, both that I can count and the ripple effect of the people that I can't count that are depending on me to make it. Not just because they have hopes and dreams invested, but because I not only support many people from direct families to indirect relatives to strangers to giving back efforts, but my identity is wrapped in being a provider, being the eldest son of my family, especially in a foreign country when we moved to the US. So all of that is being questioned by myself, as most people don't know what I'm going through, which is a total financial collapse, like being a multi-millionaire to uh, to negative in the bank account, like that, and owing, like, I owed somebody $15 because I couldn't fill a transaction completely. It was $15 short. I mean, if you're in a state where you're $15 short, things are not too well. So but beyond that, there is a lot of psychological damage that I'm seeing. By the way, the reason that I have this buzz cut is because I just came back from the great pilgrimage of Hajj in Saudi Arabia, which was uh, uh, um, an experience, but it was something that uh, was too long. I honestly wish it was just a 5 day trip, but it was a 15 or 16 day trip, which felt exhausting, especially because they took away um, everyone's passport until it was time to go. So, but at the end, I did shave my head as a part of the custom. Not because I am religious, but rather because it was a different experience, as well as I never shaved my head as an adult, and my hair was longer than it was ever, and it was kind of getting wild and untamable. So um, I got back to my motherland of Bangladesh and stayed there for like 50, 60 hours, and then flew here to Dubai because I have business to conduct here to rebuild myself, not just financially, but also mentally, emotionally, spiritually. All is wrapped around me being able to provide for my loved ones and having abundance to give freely. Like, that's, I'm a giver. So, like, I'm not interested in romantic affairs right now. I'm not interested in sleeping or eating. I am also unable to make progress because I'm crippled in this like deer in headlight situation of like, it's just all at once. It's like a tsunami of things. Like, my parents don't know what sort of financial calamity I'm in. In fact, before I left Saudi Arabia, I blocked all my relatives who were there with, well, my aunts and one of my uncles and my mom was there with me. I blocked all of them, including all relatives in Bangladesh, because I saw that they could not only comprehend what I was going through, they could not value my time or like they wanted the fruits of what I could provide, but not to support the fact that I needed to be working on those things. So me sitting in Saudi just not being efficient or productive didn't seem to impact like their sense of what my value was or what I needed to do to give them the things that they wanted. Like my mom even asked if I could help fund a house for her in our motherland, and I said yes. Um, but I also wanted her to like value my time and send me off to um, pursue my financial um, uh, uh, um, abundance so that I can support her. But she wanted both for me to sit there in Saudi with her and for me to fund these lavish things in her life and other people's lives. Um, and you know, it's like you can't want someone to both give you all the time and give you all the fruits of productivity. So anyway, I had to decide that for myself. So the only person I am communicating with is my two brothers and my father, who did seem to understand. And also, they didn't. My mom and relatives didn't value the fact that I was putting my body through a lot, um, with being sick in Saudi, um, nerve pain, not I mean exhaustion, dehydration, lack of sleep, lack of proper nutrition, all of that stuff. So anyway, I had to make the decision for myself to not only escape that environment but block off the people that kept pulling me back through emotional manipulation and emotional weight. And I do plan to um, rekindle those relationships after I um, stand up again on my own. Um, that's crazy. I mean, like, I was a multi-millionaire making six figures a month, and now I'm barely getting by. Like every day is like a decision of how much I can spend and counting every dollar. Um, where like $1,000 used to feel like $10, now $10 feels like $1,000. So it is it's quite the humbling restart. But more than anything, the crippling psychological torment that I'm going through or putting myself through, where um, it's like if you're in a burning house, um, the most productive thing you can do is try to get out instead of lamenting on the fact that everything is burning while you're in the house. And there is a part of that where I'm lamenting about the situation inside of the burning uh, areas of my life, which is all areas. I remember texting my secretary, um, and she's been very patient with me as I haven't been able to um, pay as consistently. I pay whenever we make some profits, and she's also backed up with a lot of things like putting her kid through school. It's just man, the weight of all of that. It's 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 a lot. It's a lot that I don't even know consciously that I'm enduring. Maybe subconsciously, it's astronomical, and I'm just experiencing um, the ramifications consciously of a much deeper um, rabbit hole of psychological effects. But I want to rebuild my life from here, from this like, in the beginning of Limitless, that scene of how he is completely dismantled and his life is um, in shambles, and it's kind of like that, especially with this shaved head. Um, it is definitely a great time for a reset, And coming here to Dubai, I just landed yesterday and did nothing productive other than eat and shower. Didn't even sleep properly, just mind numbing scrolling and feeling guilty. Um, I think it's a escapism. Um, right now, like I have this sense of hopelessness, even though logically I know that I can dig myself out of it, but it like the drudgery of knowing what I have to go through makes it like, man, like it, yeah, I now understand why people that are at great financial heights, when they lose their financial um, capacity to provide themselves and their loved ones the lifestyle that they were able to lose, that why they end their lives, because their sense of worth and value is so intrinsically tied to their capacity to provide that without that, it they feel ashamed, as I am feeling privately, as most people don't know what I'm going through um, on the public side. So little by little, I am going to dig myself out, and this is the journey of capturing all of that to make something out of my life from this situation. There's been many resets in my life, but this one feels very heavy because it's something I'm going through health wise and wealth wise. So it's like I don't feel the best, whether it's physically exhausted all the time, I sleep and I'm still exhausted, not eating properly, not drinking enough water, um, socially and relationship wise, very isolated. It's like keeping a plant in the dark, like in the closet, and hoping to get the fruits of that plant. I don't even get enough sunlight, which is something that's necessary for not just vitamin D, but feeling lively and not turning into like a pasty vampire. But I'm trying to get myself to feel hopeful, to feel eager for the future, to look forward to things. Um, right now, I need to make myself feel good, um, to save myself. And this is a whole process of figuring out what exactly is going to work or not going to work, through trial and error. Um, like from simple things of, do I order what I will like to eat so that I feel better about my day, or do I order what I can afford so that I have more money left to stretch out? I mean, the fact that I'm having to think like that from reckless spending to now, it is definitely a lot on the psyche. Um, but I will I'll begin to figure some things out. I'll see what is working, and the biggest thing I need to do is start getting myself out of that burning house, um, and having the perspective that I can get another house, or I can rebuild this house even better. And one of the biggest things that I can use as a means of looking forward to the future is that I will treat myself with priority in a way that I never have before, because I've always put myself last in terms of the hierarchy and the priority list of serving others. Um, and I can tell you that right now, when my cup is empty, that no one is pouring into my cup. And so um, knowing the value of myself is something that I'm realizing the importance of, investing love and energy and healing into, and that's what I'm looking forward to the most, is how I begin to befriend myself as a best friend to get out of this and remember the dark times that we went through to get out of these these um, these situations, and never leave that best friend in the face of other people's requests and whatnot, because they were not here to pull me out, pull me through all of this. I was my reflection. These videos, these memoirs, are what is helping. I mean, the fact that I'm even talking about this is giving me some perspective, is giving me some um, semblance of, okay, what situation am I actually in, without just feeling doom and gloom. It's like when you have when you're so financially worried about what's in your bank account, and the expenses that you owe and the debts that you have, that you don't even sit down to calculate everything, because it is such an anxiety uh, filled endeavor, and something that is only going to make you feel worse, knowing the gravity of the situation. Well, the first step to any cure is kind of diagnosing the situation or the gravity of the situation, and through this type of journaling, um, or vocalization, or memoirs, I'm beginning to do that for myself. Is doing the introspection needed to find um, the areas of vulnerability and begin to work on those. So, with that, let me begin. Um, Hopefully, a hyper productive day, um, and start to feel better, which is a huge part of doing better, and opening up more wonderful things, is feeling psychologically hopeful and optimistic about a gloomy present, that it will get better, um, and then doing the daily little steps of just even taking care of myself, to business productivity, to health, um, to social or personal, like to eating. Right now, I'm hungry, um, and it's just and very dehydrated also. Um, but this is the beginning of my movie, um, where it opens up with my dismantled life in shambles, um, and from here, I look forward to creating a life in the next. I don't want to say even months, but hopefully a better life in the next few months, but a great life in the next few years, that I can look back at, and say that I've really came from this dark place of feeling hopeless and giving up on life, to the point where I was hoping that the plane that I came to Dubai on would not land. Yeah, that would have solved 100% of my problems. Um, but that's very selfish. But also, I've been given more time, so to play this game of life. So why not try to make something beautiful out of it, so that I can. It's still a winnable game. Money is the most replaceable thing. Um, Time isn't. Health isn't. Not for now. Not until they invent more health breakthroughs. But it is a tough time in my life. It is a very dark time. Um, um, as bright as it is out here in Dubai, it's a dark time for me mentally, um, and it's hard to see the next few steps ahead. But I look forward to coming back to share these step by step increments of improvements in this endeavor of building a life that I'm proud to live, and know that I consciously came from this situation to one that is out of this world.